Good morning, everyone. I'm back as promised with GST, the topic which everybody was waiting. So, e-invoicing under GST. I, Professor Mayuri Tavde from PS Modern College of Engineering, Pune, MBA department. I have come up with this topic because very less videos or very less content is being available on such kind of topics. Okay. So let's see what exactly is e-invoicing under GST. So e-invoicing under GST denotes electronic invoicing defined by the GST law. Just like how a GST registered business uses an e-way bill while transporting goods from one place to another, similarly, certain notified GST registered business must generate e-invoice for business to business transactions. So this ideally before the invoices were made in the invoice book, okay, but now it has been generated on in the electronic mode. So e-invoicing or electronic invoicing is a system in which B2B invoices and a few other documents are authenticated electronically by GST for further use of the common GST portal. So in its 35th meeting, the GST Council decided to implement the system of e-invoicing covering specific categories of persons, mostly large enterprises. Later on, it has been expanded to cover mid-sized businesses and small businesses as well. E-invoicing does not imply the generation of invoices on the GST portal, but it means submitting an already generated standard invoice on a common e-invoice portal. Thus, it automates multi-purpose reporting with one-time input of invoice details. The CBIC notifies a set of common portal to prepare e-invoice via notification, which was the notification number was 69/2019 by the Central Tax. Under the electronic invoicing system, an identification number will be issued against every invoice by the Invoice Registration Portal, that is IRP, managed by the GST network, that is GSTN. The National Informatics Center launched the first IRP at e-invoice 1 gst.gov.in. All invoices informations get transferred from this portal to both the GST portal as well as e-way bill portal in real time. Therefore, it eliminates the need for manual data entry while filling GSTR1 return and generates part A of the e-way bill as the information is passed directly from IRP to the GST portal. So in this case, most of the manual things are being uh, what we say, they are being automated, right? So who must generate e-invoice and its applicability? So in the first phase, applicable to taxpayers having an aggregate turnover of more than applicable date and notification number. I have taken this table from an authenticated GST portal. So phase 1, 500 crores, that was the applicable date was 1/10/2020. Then rupees 100 crores, जिनका turnover 100 crores के ऊपर है, they have to, from 2021, they have to generate the e-invoice. Then 50 crores, 1/4/2021 notified, 20 crores, 22, and 10 crores, 1/10/22, and 5 crores, that is the notification came up on 1/8/2023. So all these, what we say, the turnover, the people who are having the businesses who are having turnover more than this, they have to generate the e-invoice on the IRP portal. Who need not comply with the e-invoicing? Notified businesses, an insurer or banking company or a financial institution, including an NBFC, a good transport agency, a registered person supplying passengers transportation services, a registered person supplying services by way of admission to the exhibition of cinematographic film in multiple services. Then a SAIS unit excluded via CBIC notification 61/2022, a government department and local authority excluded via CBIC notification. Persons registered in terms of Rule 14 of CGST rule. So documents, what they need to comply: delivery challans, bills of supply, financial or commercial credit note or debit note, bill of entry, and ISD invoices. So transaction, any business to customer, that is B2C sales, nil rate or non-taxable or exempted B2B sales of goods and services, nil rate or non-taxable or exempted B2G sales, sales of goods or services, import, high C sales and bonded warehouses sales, free trade and warehousing zone, and suppliers under reverse charges covered by section 9(4). So these people need not comply with the e-invoicing, those who come under this category. System before and after invoicing. Before even invoicing could apply, business generated invoices through various softwares, and the details of these invoices were manually uploaded on GSTR1 return or using ERP. Once the respective suppliers fill the GSTR1, the invoice information gets reflected to the GSTR2B for the recipient. On the other hand, the consignor and transporters has to generate e-way bill by again importing the invoice in Excel or JSON manually via ERP. Under the invoicing system, the process of generating and uploading invoice details will remain the same. It's done by importing using the Excel tool, JSON, or via API integration, either directly or through a GST Suvidha provider, that is GSP. The data will seamlessly flow for GSTR1 preparation and for the e-way bill generation too. The e-invoicing system will be the key tool to enable this. Time limit to generate e-invoice. Until 30th April 2023, there has been no limit fixed by the GST system or the GST law to generate the e-invoice. From 1st May 2023 onwards, the taxpayer will annually aggregate annual aggregate turnover, that is AATO, equal to or more than 100 crores must generate e-invoice for tax invoices and credit debit notes within 7 days of the invoice date, failing which invoices and CDNs will be considered non-compliant. Further, there is no defined time limit or period within which e-invoice must be generated for the rest of the applicable taxpayers. Therefore, such taxpayers are advised to create an e-invoice on or after the invoice date, preferably a week before filing the GSTR1 returns, since it takes T+3, that is today plus 3 days, for details of e-invoices to get auto-populated into GSTR1. So it needs some time after generating the e-invoice as well. However, on 6th May 2023, the department has deferred the time limit of 7 days to report the old e-invoice on the IRP portal for 3 months. Also, the department is yet to announce the new implementation date. Process of getting an e-invoice. So the very first is generate e-invoice JSON from ERP software. Then second is e-invoice JSON is uploaded. Then third is IRP validates and generates IRN. Then the IRN code, okay. So after that, digital signature JSON with IRN or QR code will send to the suppliers. Print QR code on the invoice and issue it to the buyer. So buyer can view the ITC related to this invoice in his GSTR2A. In that case, invoice data transmits to the e-way bill and the GST system. Auto-populated GSTR1 and auto-populated EWB Part A is being created automatically into the system. So these are the steps via which you have to, generate an e-invoice on the portal. So a seller register IRP flow of activity, prepare an invoice as per scheme, that is mandatory GSTRN number. Then second, generate hash on seller GSTR or invoice. Then JSON plus hash purchase to the register. Then generate hash validate the invoice, does deduplicate check with the GST system, sign in with the digital signature, add QR code to the JSON. And after that, return to digital signature JSON to the seller with IRN. Then QR code includes in JSN, send it to the mail to the seller and buyer. Send authenticated poly to GST system and send e-way bill to the system. This is how it is being generated through IRP flow of activity. The benefits of what is the benefit of e-invoicing to the businesses? So invoicing resolves and plugs a major gap in data reconciliation under GST to reduce mismatch error. While you enter manually, there can be an error or mismatch during while entering the details manually. So it eliminates any kind of duplication or any kind of error or any kind of mismatch. E-invoice created on one software can be read by another, allowing interoperability and helping reduce data entry error. Real-time tracking of invoices prepared by the supplier is enabled by e-invoicing. Then backward integration and automations of the GST return filing process. The relevant details of the invoice would be auto-populated in the various return, especially for generating Part A of e-way bill. Then faster availability of genuine inputs tax credit, lesser possibility of audit survey by the tax authority since the information which is required is available at the transactional level. Faster and easy access to formal credit routes such as invoice, discontinuing, and financing, especially for small businesses, and improve customer relations and growth in prospectus for small businesses to do businesses with a larger enterprise. So, how can e-invoicing curb tax evasion? How it is useful in tax evasion? So tax authorities will have access to transactions as they take place in real time, since the e-invoices will have to be compulsorily generated through the GST portal only. There will be less scope of manipulating invoices since the invoice gets generated before carrying out a transaction. It will reduce the chances of fake GST invoices and only genuine input tax credit can be claimed, as all invoices need to be generated through the GST portal. Since the input credit can be matched with output tax details, it becomes easier for GSTN to track fake tax credit claims. Thank you so much. This was all about the e-invoicing. Now, on the next video, I will be coming up with the e-way bill. Okay, so let us see in the next video that how e-way bill is generated, what is the process exactly, and I will give you all the details relating to the e-way bill. I hope you like this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.